Hey there, how are you? I'm so excited to be recording this way for the first time the Teacher Easy podcast with Catherine Storing. You guessed it, I am Catherine Storing. And I have been doing the podcast since the beginning of the year. And even though it's been going really well, I'm getting amazing feedback. Thank you so much for watching and actually listening. I realized that I wanted to connect even more, and the way that I do that is through video. I love video. Video is my favorite. It's been for a long time since I figured out and cracked the code on how to be on camera and not be a robot and actually relate. So I decided, you know what, why don't I do the video and at the same time record the podcast? So this is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started right now. Hello there and welcome to the Teacher Easy podcast with Catherine Storing. You guessed it, I am Catherine Storing, and I am so excited that you can listen to this. And if you are watching on the catherinestoring.com website, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We are adding a new feature where you can actually watch or listen. It all depends on which one you prefer. So this is really exciting. Today, I want to talk about going deep and consistency. Both things that I had to learn and both things that I struggled with before. And the moment that I made the switch, everything shift for me. And if you have been following for the last few weeks, you have been hearing my story, what I went through last year, and how I figured out how to teach my easy, which is why the podcast is called the Teacher Easy Podcast. Hello. Not very deep, right? It's not very complicated. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, go ahead, because you don't want to miss this broadcast. I am hearing from people all over the world. They are sending me messages. People that are actually friends are saying that they're listening and they're loving it. So please do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Do not miss any of the episodes, because they are just, they're real. They are authentic. And these are things that I wish I known when I started with my ministry and my business. I wish I had this stuff, which I'm glad that I do now. So that's why I wanted to start the podcast. If you haven't left a review yet, go ahead and leave a review, because I will be sharing those on air as you leave them. So who knows, you might hear your name and your comments on one of these days. So let's talk about consistency and going deep. This is what we're talking about today. Every week I pray about it. I really think about, okay, what am I dealing with? What have I dealt with in the past? And how can I be more transparent in this journey of entrepreneurship, especially as a kingdompreneur, a woman that has a faith-based business. We also have a few determined men that follow. So thank you so much for listening. And as you may or may not know, those who are watching can see my bookcase full of many of my books there. I have written a lot of books, okay, south of 20 plus in a very short period of time. And even though I'm very proud of that, even though it's a great thing that I did, I didn't go as deep as I could with them, because every time I wrote a book, I would just move on to the next thing. I believe we talked about that last week. So if you haven't listened to that broadcast, go ahead and go back. It will bless your whole entire life. But last year, something changed. I changed, and I realized that I needed to go deeper. I realized that what I was doing, even though I was pumping them out and it has been blessing people left and right, I needed to go deeper and stay consistent with one thing instead of just moving from here to here. When you are a creator, like I am, I'm a creator. I'm very, my mind just works in different ways. Like I'm always thinking about different things. So it's very tempting. It's very alluring to want to just be on creation mode all the time. I know, I've been there. I've done that. But there's something beautiful, magical when you discover how big a thing is, how life transforming it can be for you and the people that get to consume it, enjoy it, and to be in their lives. So last August, at a conference, I got the Teacher Easy concept. It just took me up by storm. It just messed me up in the best way possible, and I haven't stopped. So the first edition of that, it was an audiobook. It came out like right away, a few weeks after that. I didn't have a PDF for the longest time. I had a program that I taught. Then I did the second edition of then I had a PDF of the second edition of the book, and I continue working on that. And now we have the third edition. I've never done this with any of my books. All the books that I have behind me are first editions. That's it. Never looked at them again. Never touched them. Added stuff. None of that stuff. So this is a first for me. So to have a third edition of anything, it's mind-blowing. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I would have missed out so much if I had just done this as the audiobook and left it and, you know, whatever, never touched it again, or clean it up and have it as the PDF and then, you know, put it together as a printed book, but never gone back to check on it. It just would not have been as good as it is, because every time I looked at it, I realized that there were things I needed to add. Not because I forgot, but because, well, sometimes I did forget, because it was too simple for me. Like the things that I left out, I'm like, and I'm not bragging on myself, this is true for you as well. When you know how to do something really, 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 really well, you don't even think about it. You don't even think that the steps that you're taking are just automatic, but they're not automatic for other people. It's just the way it is. So anyway, every time I've been teaching it, I taught it I think twice now. Every time I taught it, every time I thought about it, every time I coached somebody through it, they would ask me a question, they needed something, and then I was like, ooh, this needs to be added. Or I was learning something in the Bible, I learned something at a Bible study or something, and then I knew that that new revelation needed to be included in the book. Because my business is faith-based, my books, all of them are faith-based. I was talking about it today on Instagram, that I'm very proud of the content that I put out in my books. All my books, when you pick them up, you know there's no doubt in your mind that I'm down, that I am a faith girl, that I love Jesus, but I'm also a businesswoman. So when you pick up them books, this is probably the most business savvy book that I have put together, meaning there's a lot of strategy in this book. For those of you watching, you'll be able to see that I'm holding an early edition of the hardcover of the 10 Steps Formula to Teacher Easy, which I'm so excited about. Oh my God, I love this cover so much. We'll make sure to put a link to it inside the podcast description so you guys can check it out, those of you listening. So anyway, I have been able to beautifully combine, because I don't know how to do it otherwise. I do not know how to teach a concept when I don't go back to who God says that I am. Because I am a businesswoman. I am a woman of faith. I am a preacher. I am all those things. And I never, ever, ever have to choose to be one or the other. I can always be all of the things that God has created me to be. Oh my God, I'm so glad that I don't have to choose, because the way God made me, He made me multifaceted. And more than likely, you watching or listening, you too are multifaceted. There are some things about you that are amazing and that you have probably relegated to the past. You're not looking at them, or you're just not advertising them or sharing them with the world because you think you're known for this one thing, and that one thing is it and nothing else. I'm here to tell you, my friend, that you were created on purpose and with the purpose to share all of who you are, okay? So as I was working on the book, at first it was called, like You're Easy, a New Normal. It was called Your Normal is Not Everybody Else's Normal. It's had so many iterations, I think the only thing that has remained the same is the subtitle, How to Build Wealth by Teaching Others What Comes Naturally to You. I think that has always been the subtitle, but now we have added the book for women kingdompreneurs. I'm so, so proud of that. And all those changes were possible because I stuck with it, because I was consistent and I went deep, my friend. Like when I look at all the chapters that I added, the sections that I added, the things that I have learned along the way, it was like, wow, this is amazing. This is stuff that I just really haven't done with any of my other books. This is powerful stuff, like really, really, really powerful stuff. But I haven't been able to go that deep in my other books. They're pretty powerful too, but I didn't stick with them, and this is why I have declared this year the year of the Teacher Easy. And I'm really excited about it. It's a new thing for me because I'm discovering how to rediscover something that is not new. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you have ever had to rediscover yourself. I have been reminiscing lately. I don't know why, but there's so many things that are popping up in my head, things that I have done that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I went there. I can't believe that happened. And I don't know why that's happening, but it's not a bad thing, but it's like, it's an old version of who I am. I'm a whole different person, like completely different. I'm learning who Catherine Storing is, at 40, in my 40s. I'm going to be 43 in a couple months, and I'm still learning. You would think that by now I would have it all figured out, but, as it turns out, you don't figure it out, I don't think ever. You're always learning new things about yourself, but you got to go deep. I could just say, this is who I am. This is how God made me. I'm not going to change. This is it. But instead, I'm choosing in every area of my life, I am choosing to grow. I'm choosing to discover new compartments of who I am, new ways to teach other people, new ways to grow, new ways. There are new things available to you. There are new things that you could be doing if you stay consistent, if you stick with it. I know it's uncomfortable. Trust me that I know it is so very uncomfortable to put yourself out there. I experienced that before. I experienced it when I am doing different things. Like when I was doing TEDx for the second time, I was nervous. I was very, very worried and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. I'm going to throw up. Like all these ideas that all tasks were coming to my mind. I still did it. I still grew, and I learned so many things about me, about other people, things that I want, things that I don't want. Learned so much by just being in the room and putting myself out there, being consistent and going deep. So I'm going to encourage you this week to be consistent and go deep. I would love to hear from you in what ways you are willing, in what areas you are willing to be consistent and be deep. You can do that by going to our fan page on Facebook. You just look me up, Catherine Storing, or you can go to Twitter, Cat Storing, and find me there. Leave me a message, tag me so I don't miss it. You can do hashtag #TeacherEasy or just tag me at Catherine Storing. I'll see it, because I would love to know what areas I don't have to tell you, where you need to go deep, and how you can be in areas that you can be consistent as well. Does that make sense? Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. I knew this episode, I was going to go a little deep. I knew that I wanted to share some things, celebrate the fact that the hardcover of the book, I have the early copies anyway. I'm so excited about that. And I'm sharing the journey and sharing how it was not easy for me as a creator to go deep and stay consistent. But I'm telling you, the benefits that I'm reaping, oh my God, the benefits are amazing and a half. So there you have it. Here's the episode for this week. Let me know how you like it. Again, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. We are live every Thursday morning. You'll get new episodes. Sometimes I go a little early because I want to make sure you don't miss them. I'm being very consistent this year, making and keeping it simple. Keeping it so simple. I remember the last couple times. You can tell me, preacher, you know how preachers have many closes. I already closed, and I'm already telling you another story. When I tried the podcast a couple times, I had it so complicated. I had an intro, I had an outro, I had interviews, and I was having the interviews transcribed, and it was just seemed too much. And sometimes you gotta go old school, keep it simple, and then just go with the flow. And that's what I'm doing with the Teacher Easy podcast with yours truly, Catherine Storing. I love you. Remember that I'm rooting for you, and I will see you super, super duper soon. There you have it. That is the episode. Oh my God, that was so awesome. I definitely love the dynamic of doing video at the same time and doing the podcast on my laptop as well at the same time. I have two mics going, got the stand, I'm looking everywhere, but I like it. I think it was good. Let me know here in the video how you liked it. I'm gonna give you a gift. Thank you so much for watching. I have the Teacher Easy course roadmap. It is a one-page gorgeous roadmap that gives you, it's like the shortest version of this. It's the actual 10 steps I use to create this and create all my products and courses and systems and services. It's amazing. So I'm gonna give you the link for that. And if you wanna check out, everything will be there, okay? So make sure that you check it out. Let me know in the comments how you like this week's podcast, and I will see you next week. God bless you. Bye.